What's up, guys, and welcome to another episode of the Founder Academy. So it is Monday morning. We are fresh off our FUT Champs weekend run. So that was Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and it was the longest 3 days of my life. No, I'm just kidding. It wasn't really, but you guys know I'm not a huge fan of FUT Champs. I generally don't play it. The reason that I decided to play it this past weekend was it was kind of sort of spur of the moment, sort of not. It was kind of one of those things that I was looking at the 2000 of 2000 you can redeem now, and it was like, do I want to do this? All right, I'll go into it. So I ended up starting, and once you start, you can't stop. You know, you just have to play and see how far you can get, and you know, you just have to commit to it. So it ends up being a really long weekend, which is one of the many reasons that I'm not a huge advocate of it. Is it's really the only game mode that kind of feels like work. You know, I woke up on Saturday and Sunday after my starts on Friday and Saturday, and I was like, you know, I feel like I have to go to work. I feel like I have to do a job. I have to get wins, and that's not really the way the game should be. You know, this is supposed to be your relaxation. It's supposed to take your mind off of, you know, jobs, and the fact that you feel like you have to play FIFA and more importantly have to win is just not a very good feeling. So anyway, you guys aren't here to listen to me rant about like FUT Champs. You guys are going to see my results from that in the next two videos, so that'll be really exciting. I look forward to you guys seeing that. I split it into two just because if I kept it as one, it would be really like a very long video. So it just made the most sense to put it into two different videos. But I was really happy with how far we've come along. That was really the biggest reason, is I just wanted to give myself a test and see, you know, how far we've come. And what this video is really doing is just showing you a lot of the changes. I knew I had to make some changes to the team, and I wanted to go on a divisions run and just tweak them. Every game there's little tweaks after the game, to the lineup, to the squad, to the tactics, to the formation, whatever, just so I could give myself the best opportunity to get the highest possible prizes I could. So at the very start of this video, what you guys saw was me doing the guaranteed Team of the Season SBC. I'm not a huge fan of those. I just think that they're coin sinks. What I would say to them, or what I'd say to you in on behalf of somebody who's played this game a lot and knows kind of the ins and outs of EA and what they like to do. They like to take coins off the market. That's essentially kind of what they are. There's a reason they're untradeable, right? Is if you're thinking about doing them, a lot of people get sucked in to the fact that there's not a lot of Team of the Seasons that they are packing. I didn't word that properly, but you know what what I mean by that. You're not packing a lot of Team of the Seasons. People get frustrated. They want to see that blue flare. They just go, okay, you know what? I want this, so I'm going to do the Team of the Season. It's not a coincidence that a lot of the packs they're putting out right now for SBCs are really, really low valued, like gold players packs, like 2 players here and there. You have to grind them. If you do have a high chance of getting it, it's going to be a coin sinking one where you have to put in a lot of tradable cards in order to get an untradeable card, like that type of stuff. If you are going to invest in them and put in an 87, 88 rated team, do it assuming you're probably going to pack one of the lower halves of the Team of the Season. So people get sucked in because they see that 1% that packs Lewandowski, that packs Royce, that packs Neymar or Mbappe, and they go, I want to get that. That could be me. Let me do this. So the problem is going to be, if you put all those players in, you're taking what should be liquid coins and you're making them untradeable, and you're probably going to get a player like I did. Like I said at the start, assume you're going to get the bottom half. So a good example of that is the EPL. It's the most expensive one so far anyway. It was like 88 rated. Now, 88 rated, to most people think, oh, that's really expensive. I don't want to put an 88 rated team. It's too much money. But the reality is, it's not really, it's probably the best value. It's not really like a bad value, because the cards that you would get guaranteed, like the lowest possible ones, Dean Henderson, those types of guys, sure, you have a chance of getting them. But I packed Jordan Henderson. He's still bottom half, but he's a very usable card. So if you can look at the bottom half of the team and say, hey, I'm comfortable getting any of these guys, or I'm comfortable at least getting most of them, then it should be of value to you. But if you look at a team like the Bundesliga team, everyone's awed by Jadon Sancho and even Kai Havertz and and Royce and Lewandowski and all these guys. But the reality is you're probably going to get Sommer. You're probably going to get You're probably going to get Serdar. You're going to get a bunch of players that are not going to fit into your team. They're going to be SBC fodder. You can use them for the next one. And really the only one that may be of value is going to be the ultimate team of the season. But the ultimate team of the season is going to have its own issues. Everyone thinks that, it's an entire team of usable players. But no, they're not going to put in like Dean Henderson, but they're going to put in a couple guys that are lower rated, high rated players. Trying to think of a good example. I can't think of one right off the top of my head, but like maybe a guy like Lorenzo Insigne, still a really good card, somebody you'd want to get, but it's not Messi, it's not Mbappe, it's not Neymar, it's not even Suarez. You're going to pack Insigne and you're probably going to have to put in like an 88 or 89 rated team in order to get it. So you have to look at it that way. You have to say like, am I prepared to get the bottom half of this? And if you're not, then I wouldn't recommend doing them. So anyway, that was my advice with those things. I don't necessarily think that they're good value, but if you've got all the coins in the world, especially all the untradables in the world, and you just need a few to kind of fill in the gaps, definitely take your shot. I know that's going to fall on a lot of deaf ears. People are still going to do them, but don't say I didn't warn you. So that first game that we played against, the opponent was actually quite good. A lot of the teams that I'm coming up against in division rivals appear to be objectives teams. Now, you're going to see this later on in the video, but I don't want to help people get their objectives done. I'm not opposed to like you getting it done. I don't care if you get it done, but I'm not going to like gift you a win. You're going to see a couple people actually like send me abuse, which I tried to cover up as much as possible, but some of them actually crept through because they're at vital points in games. But so many people have been like trying to do objectives and they're actually like sending me abuse because they're just like, help me get a win, you're toxic and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, toxic is a word that it rubs me the wrong way in the community. I don't consider myself toxic. I'm just playing to win a game, have fun, but I'm not doing it to ruin your day. But so many people have abused the word toxic, not just to me, but I just see it in streams. I see it in YouTube videos all the time. Like people just sending it to the point that they don't even know what it means anymore. It has no meaning. Oh, you watch a replay, you're toxic. Oh, you scored a goal and you celebrated, you're toxic. Like, I don't even care if someone watches a replay against me. Like, if anything, I actually want to see the replay because I want to see what caused the goal. I don't really understand why that would be toxic to somebody. But the irony to me is, like, this community has gotten way out of hand. There's still some really good people in it, but there's just so many people that whine and complain. And I get it. A lot of it has to do with the demographic. Young guys, a lot of testosterone. A lot of frustration. Everyone thinks that they're the best FIFA player, especially this late in the year when you've worked so hard to get your team and now you're losing to somebody that in your mind you shouldn't be losing to. But look, guys, at the end of the day, it's a video game. Every game has to have a loser. We all lose one or two or whatever, some more than others. You're going to lose some video games. It doesn't mean that you have to be an awful human being just because you lost a game of FIFA. Life goes on, so don't worry about it. But anyway, it's something that I've seen a lot of, especially when guys are doing objectives. They just beg and they plead and they act like you should help them. I've helped people in the past. I'm not like opposed to the concept of helping anybody. I don't consider myself a bad person, but you might think differently, I guess. But like, I've helped people in the past and it's always burned me in FIFA because they're people that I don't know. If my friend messaged me, it's not like I'm going to say like, no, figure it out yourself. Like, I would be more than happy to help them. But like, these are people that I've never met before. They just go, I just need a goal. I'll let you have the win. Every time that's happened, they score one or two or whatever. And then they just go in try hard mode and they just go, sorry, man, couldn't do it. Need the win. You know what I mean? And it's like, look, don't get mad at me that I'm not helping you anymore because every time I've done it, I've gotten burned. So like, if you're going to do objectives, be prepared that you're going to take a loss in it. Like, it's not everyone else's job to help you get better cards at their own expense or at their expense. So anyway, that was my little PSA for the day. This was a really good example, actually, this game. This guy, I don't even want to say his name, but like this guy after this game you saw his team. He was playing with like basically a pure team of the season team. My team, but with like an EPL, and he sent me a bunch of abuse after the game. Like he sent me a bunch of stuff saying, I don't get why you played that way. Like, why are you always sending through balls? And I was thinking, like, why would I send through balls? Probably to score goals. I didn't send him a bunch of hate back. He sent me a bunch of toxic messages, a bunch of like awful, really rude, terrible stuff. And I'm sure if he ever saw this, he'd be like, no, I didn't. But like, yeah, he sent anybody who sends you a message after the game, unless it's like just good game, man, there's almost never an instance where it's going to be anything like useful. It's always going to be somebody who's butthurt that they lost or angry that they lost or whatever. And they just, for whatever reason, they just can't live with it. And they try to come up with anything. They either hate on you because your team's too good, or if you lose, they just go, ha, you didn't win with that team. Oh my God, you suck, and blah, 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 blah. But this guy was just mad that he couldn't break down my D. I couldn't break down his D. It was a very boring game. There was no goals, which almost never happens. It was just defensive, and neither of us were capable of playing offensive. But he was so mad that he couldn't score that he was just like, I don't get why you do that. Like, why would you play like that? And I'm like, play like what? Like, I don't edit my videos to make myself look better. I literally take every highlight from the game. Anything that's even remotely kind of like a half scoring chance that would cause a save or a shot on goal or anything like that, just to tell the story of a game. So I'm not doctoring these to make anybody look better or worse. If I lose, I lose, and I've lost a lot of games. I put every single game that I play on this stream. I don't miss games. But this guy was just so angry that he couldn't break my team down, and he just couldn't face it. Like, look, maybe you're not as good as an attacker as you think you are. So anyway, that guy was just an idiot. He sent me some really stupid stuff, but I don't even know what to say. Like, that type of stuff is a lot more common than it should be. As we head into this game, this third game here, no offense to this guy, but like, you saw his team. I don't know what happened. Well, I know what happened, but I say this with all due respect to this guy. He still had to beat me with a really average team. But all I'll say is, I've said this for years and years and years, that when you lose or you draw, your next game, your team is just slightly worse. And I don't think it's a coincidence that even in my weekend leagues, you're going to see that. And that's not an excuse. There's games where I lost and my team still played that way. You can still win with it, but your team just runs offside. They hit a lot of posts. Every time you're in the final third, when you've got the ball in attacking position, your player will sprint to an offside position and then they'll slowly jog back. They'll just do dumb things. They'll fall over. They'll miss chances. They'll take dumb touches. And you guys are going to see throughout like this run here, some of these close games, when I lose or when I'm drawing, the next game, my team just, they get dumber, right? That's really all it is. I'm not saying I'm losing or I'm winning because of it. I'm just saying my team gets dumber. And it's something that I've been trying very hard to understand. I try to come up with every rationale possible that makes sense to me. The only thing that I can come up with, guys, and again, not an excuse for losing, okay? It's not about like winning or losing. It's just about how they play. Like, look at this. Look at the strength that Lautaro Martinez has. Like, I know a lot of people look at that and be like, oh, well, he cut you inside. This was happening all game. His Lautaro Martinez is just a regular gold card. Sergio Ramos, Boateng, during my entire team of the season, or during my entire weekend league, this past weekend, when I took them offline, got them, make sure that their all morale was all high. They were just bossing people. Team of the season cards, icon cards. Terrible. Like, even there, you saw that touch that Toni Kroos took, just heavy, bounced off his foot, went 5 extra yards, plays it to Messi. I powered that up in a way that I thought he was going to finish quite heavily, quite aggressively. He just took this slow roller that hit the post. And I don't think it's a coincidence it was in the 90th minute. That's 90th minute cheese, but, my team just fell through the floor. Like, I was at that point where I was kind of like, again, no knock against this guy, but I was like, this is not even worth playing against this guy because I can't do anything. Like, his team was very average. I couldn't even tell you if he was a good player or not because his team just became superhuman. They just got superhuman strength. And I know a lot of people will listen to this and be like, oh, he's just complaining that he lost. Guys, I'm not complaining that he lost. I don't care about the loss. I'm losing to other people in this video. It has nothing to do with that. It's me trying to figure out what is causing that. And again, I'm trying to put myself in every possible situation that could justify like why a team plays bad. But I've watched this on Fuji's stream. I watched this on Nepenthes' stream. I watched this on not necessarily Gorilla because he's so good that I think he doesn't even let himself get to the point where he loses 2 or 3 games. but guys that are just content creators, right? They're good players, but they're not, top 100 players. They'll go on 2-3 game losing streaks, and I see their teams doing it, and I just go, like, is this just a coincidence that their teams are doing this? Like, just heavy touches, physicals fall through the floor, they run offside, they do all this dumb stuff, and I don't want to spend too much time like harping on this, but I'm trying to come up with any reason why your team would play that way. Take handicap, morale, take my theory of morale aside, like, forget about it. Just you explain to me why you'd go into a game and your players would just all of a sudden play really great on one game, and next game they're just taking really heavy, stupid touches, like really dumb touches. Like, I can't figure out, I can't come up with an explanation for it. If you guys have one, please feel free to put it in the chat. I'm all open. I'm very open-minded about it. Maybe I'm just being crazy, but like, honestly, that's not me justifying my own means. That's me trying to make the most sense of what I'm seeing. Like, what do I see in the games? And that's what I see. Like, when you lose or when you draw, the next game you go into, if you're using that same squad that you just used, regardless of their fitness, they're going to play worse. It's just a fact. Like, they're going to start doing dumb things. They're going to start taking heavy touches. It's not gameplay is bad today. Like, there's no guy at a switch at an EA office like turning on good gameplay, bad gameplay. That doesn't make any sense. That's even crazier than my concept of morale. Like, morale's, to me, is just in the game code. If EA don't know it's in there, it might just be leftover code from like older iterations. But even stuff like that, like, misses, like, it was a simple ball right into his feet and he just kind of like swings and misses it. Like, really kind of dumb things. You're gonna see, Messi's and my team of the season players like just taking heavy touches, bouncing off the backs of players, and regardless of whether I won or lost, they're still doing these silly things. So I'm open-minded to guys. I'm really looking for people's opinions of it, but I think everybody's faced it at some point or another. It's not just the basic mechanics of the game. Like, oh, this guy got tired. Like, there's a good example. Like, Messi was offside. I shouldn't have played him that ball, but look at how far offside he is. His offensive awareness is like 99, and he just literally bombs forward. He literally runs into like a really far offside position, and what happens is when you're in that final third, your players will run into crazy offside positions because they want you to play that ball to them, so you just miss out. It's slowing your team down, right? So anyway, another draw here against a very, very good opponent. Credit to him. GG's, I guess you would say. But, just my team was at that point where I was just kind of like, man, I don't know what I have to do to get out of this outside of just going offline, playing an offline game, and just crushing the computer a couple times. Which just sucks because offline's so boring, right? Like, I don't like squad battles. The only reason I even play squad battles ever is just to get the rewards. But playing the computer is very mind-numbing. It's actually probably even more frustrating than playing humans because all it does is just slowly walk towards the sideline. So if you tackle it, it goes out of bounds. It's just so frustrating over and over and over. But I think before we did that, we played against this guy. I was just like, at this point, I was like, you know what? I just want to get back into it and try to get my team out of this. We come up against this guy. His team was okay, nothing wrong with it. Obviously not a meta squad. It looked like he was doing an objective. Actually, I know he was doing an objective because, again, you guys are going to see later in the video, he messages me begging for results. So a lot of these guys go into the game, they pause it right off the start, they make changes. When I was playing against this guy, like, my team still felt very heavy. It still felt like they were just taking dumb touches. But what I will say is his team was doing the same thing. Like, you can see it just kind of bumbly. Messi finishes there, but, I tried to put myself in his shoes when I rewatched this game back. And, again, I don't want to spoil the game, but I'm going to here. I end up winning this game 1-0. But when I was watching his team was taking those heavy touches. So the only thing that I could really make any sense of in my mind was that because he's doing this, he's probably at that point, and I'm supporting this because he sent me a bunch of scathing messages. Just let me I only need one more, blah, 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 blah. I'm guessing he's trying to do this objective and has lost and is frustrated. He's at that point now. Now, look at that type of touch from Ansu Fati. Now, explain that to me, right? Now, Ansu Fati is not a good card. I do not like Ansu Fati, but, like, just look at the, like, first of all, like, look at all the players that run offside. So if that ball goes off the post, which I've said before, when they're getting moraled, they start hitting posts. If that would have bounced to one of my guys, both of my players ran offside. Okay? So their offensive AI is already dropped through the floor, right? So I'm trying to dissect little things here. So please just humor me for a sec, even if you don't believe in it. The players all run offside. So if they get it, they're in an offside position. Even so, it still rings off the post, right? You'll hit so many posts when your team's getting moraled or getting basically handicapped, right? Basically what's happening is their offensive IQ falls to the floor, their shooting accuracy, their passing accuracy, their touches, right? Like, they're maybe not necessarily like every single stat, but like most of them, all the sliders just kind of drop, right? Like, my players are just kind of like falling, they're doing dumb things, they're just offside. But when I was looking at his team, to go back to him, his players were doing a lot of this stuff too. So if he, like, let's imagine that his team was playing these division rival games. He's trying to do this objective. He can't get it done. He's quitting, or he's losing, or he's coming up against big teams. His team is getting morale. So now both of our teams are playing stupid. Like, look at that touch from Messi, right? Like, that's inexcusable, right? Like, he doesn't collect it. This is 99 Messi, like 99. Almost all of his stats are 99. You can justify it however you want. Oh, you would have done that in real life. Oh, that was a tough ball. Oh, you shouldn't have lobbed it. Whatever. Like, that touch, regardless of what I did there, that touch doesn't happen when your team's playing fine. But those heavy touches, those dumb things, they just do that type of stuff so the defender can run into position. But anyway, his team was doing that. My team was doing that. This game was just a total mess of errors, like, over and over and over. You could tell both teams were just really, really not playing well. I think I just came out of it because I was playing slightly better than he was, but a lot of it probably had to do with my team, right? Like, I scored a good goal, but like, I scored it, a lot had to do with the fact that I had that Messi card in my squad. Like, look at my squad compared to his. But for the most part, it was a pretty close affair, unfortunately. And there you guys saw it right at the end. Try hard much. Like, he was just one of those guys that was like, let me win, let me win, let me win. I need a goal with Sabitzer and blah, 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 blah. And he was upset at me that, like, I'm not letting him win. You know what I mean? Like, guy, I can't afford to let you win. Look at the way my team is playing. So anyway, that was just like a run that I went on that I was like, you know what? I got to reset here. I took my team offline, crushed the computer a bunch of times. And then I sold De Jong and I sold Thiago. Now, the reason for that is I like this De Jong card. The only issue that I have with this De Jong card is he doesn't fit in my squad. It's not actually an issue with the card. The card's fine. He doesn't fit anywhere. Now, I knew at this point that I needed a pure striker because Messi was just not big enough, not strong enough. And if I do get kind of handicapped, or even if just like the dynamic difficulty, the DDA, which now conveniently people seem to believe exists, right? Most people were denying it before, but if the dynamic difficulty in the game is starting to go against me, I need a bigger striker because Messi, when he gets DDA'd, the problem with him is really small, weak players really get affected because you touch them, you blow on them, they fall over. So you need a stronger guy that can withstand that slider of his physicality dropping, right? So I knew that I needed a pure out-and-out striker. De Jong is wasted at cam. Like, he's really a center midfielder, box-to-box guy, and if you are going to play him in a 4-2-3-1, he's really a holding midfielder. But I have Toni Kroos, who to me was even better than De Jong, and he's like 1/6 of the price, and Saul, who's untradeable, so I just didn't need him. So I sold him. Can't remember who else I sold there. Was it Thiago? And then we ended up picking up Luis Suarez, and there you're going to see what a difference this makes. So Messi coming out of that midfield, a little 1-2 there with Luis Suarez. That's what I want from them. So Suarez is going to be a lot better with the hold-up play. That's not something you're going to get with Messi. Messi, you can't just like hold off a defender. Suarez almost does this automatically. It's something that you're going to get with really, really high-rated strikers, like guys like Lewandowski. Everybody will like look at his like agility and be like, oh, he's not agile enough, or even Ciro Immobile. But what this game, one of the stats that this game has that people really don't give enough credit to is the fact that really high-rated strikers that are big and they're strong, even like a Lukaku, he's just the card. Even if you're not holding like shield, they're gonna just hold off the defenders. Messi won't do that. Small guys won't do that. The big players have that strength that they naturally assist you in keeping the ball in very vital positions. So Suarez has all the skill that I really need him to. This game isn't necessarily the most isn't necessarily the best example reflecting that because he misses a couple opportunities. Maybe I just kind of got nervous there. But that was one of those instances where I should have just ball rolled. That was all on me. So I just shot it straight into the goalkeeper. This guy actually ends up coming back 2-1 here. Very nice goal from Richarlison. But, you know, that Suarez-Messi combo coming up the middle is just so invaluable. And I knew that it was going to be a combo that I needed going into the weekend league. So again, I'm not gonna ruin any of the results from the weekend league, but one of the things that I was contemplating was actually selling Messi, if you can believe that, just because I hate the fact that he's a right wing. I want to be able to use my team on balance right out of the gate, and I can't do that with a right wing because I don't use a formation that has a right wing. I go to pretty much all narrow-ish type formations, even 4-2-3-1 somewhat narrow, but you know, with the left and right attacking mids, it's a little bit wider. But I don't like super wide formations. I don't like 4-3-3. It's too spread out for me. I've seen other people use it, but that's, you know, to their benefit. But after using Messi this weekend league, he can never go anywhere. He was so good. He is such a difference maker. And I even started to realize that in this game here. I started seeing how good he was. You see there, guys, like when my team what am I saying here? When my team isn't getting moraled, he made a run there that he would have been offside if I was getting moraled. The defender would have pushed up, he would have ran offside. But there he held his run perfectly. It's not a coincidence that that type of stuff happens. Like, look at that finish from Suarez. So that type of stuff is why Luis Suarez is going to be so good. He's not going to be the most agile. He's not going to create too many of his own chances, but he just creates so much. I don't know how I missed that opportunity. That one drove me crazy. But that combo of having a pure out-and-out striker, you get the ball on his foot, he's going to score goals. He's going to. He's just too good a finisher. He's too strong. He's got just enough agility, just enough dribbling to really feel like he's meta. A lot of people that I've seen have reviewed him. They've been, okay, he's average. And then other people actually don't even straight up like him because they just think he's not worth the price. To me, 1.3 is expensive, but you're paying for what you get. You're getting a guy that, you know, again, I've hit the post there, but that happens from time to time. I know some of you are probably thinking, oh, well, I hit the post there, and you're saying your morale's up. But, look, he didn't hit posts all the time. He finished more often than he didn't. That was just one of those other ones. It's the way the team feels, and he felt great. Him and Messi were phenomenal. So, anyway, back into the game. This guy was actually a really good player. He had a decent team. I should have put the game away. So many opportunities. There's Ansu Fati. Ansu Fati's terrible. I liked him at first when I first got him, but his agility he's a fraud when it comes to his agility. His card is just so weak. His dribbling's terrible. His shooting is god awful. I do not recommend him. I hate the fact that he's in my team. I would love to get Griezmann if I can. But, you know, what are you going to do? Until I can save up and afford him, I'm stuck with Ansu Fati. So that is going to be the end of the video here, guys. Tomorrow, watch for my Foot Champs highlights. They're going to be a lot more interesting. It's going to be a lot of sweaty games here. So I look forward to seeing you guys until the next video, though. If you could like this one down below, and if you don't already, please follow the channel. Your support's greatly appreciated. Just also as a caveat there, when I was killing the clock, he'd stopped playing. So it wasn't like I was trying to be toxic again. It was just he'd stopped playing. It was in the 3rd minute of 2 minutes of extra time, so I just basically stood with the ball until the game was over. There's no point in me moving forward because the game was almost over. What you guys are going to see here at the very end, though, is actually just what 90th minute cheese is. I'm not showing this to be like, oh, you didn't deserve the goal, but anybody who's ever wondered what 90th minute cheese is, this is basically what it is. So your defenders, all defender stats, mine and his, the defender stats go down, the offensive sliders move up. And as you guys can see there, because my defending stats go so far down, look at this type of read it twice, goes through his leg, rockets into the top corner. So that is going to be the end of the video, though, guys. Until next time, take care. Peace.